Good morning. Hello. At least it's good morning from the time of this recording. But today we are going to talk about how to find your ideal client's language, even if you don't have a big audience. You've probably heard this advice hundreds, maybe even thousands of times before. Use the words your ideal clients are using. And it's smart advice. It's advice I give all of the time. But I've realized and I've been hearing that what does that even mean? How do I find the words that my clients are using? How do I know the right words? And this is especially true if you're getting started with a brand new offer or an audience, or maybe you're putting together something different for the people already around you, and it might just not be clicking for them. And so if you're building a group program, think a membership or a mastermind, and you don't have dozens of past clients to quote, or maybe you have dozens of past clients to quote, but you didn't collect any of that information when they first started working for you. So does that mean you're stuck? Not at all. Today, I'm going to show you how to find and use your ideal client's exact language, even if you're starting from nothing. Because when you use your audience's own words, you don't just sound relatable. You sound like the only option, the best next option for them to solve the problem they're actively trying to solve. And so you are in the right place if you're creating a scalable offer, like I said, a group program, some type of membership, and you want messaging that actually attracts buyers, not just the freebie seekers. Or you're tired of guessing what to say or hearing, oh, I really love your stuff. I'm just not ready yet. Or you've been told to use client language, but you don't know where to get it if you haven't been collecting it or you haven't worked with people in this capacity yet before. That is okay. Here's the thing. People respond more to words they recognize from their own thoughts than the words we often use with industry jargon or the way we're explaining our offers and how we can help. So, research and cognitive fluency, and I'll always pull research into things that I'm doing because I do believe that human behavior and psychology is so important in the way that we are communicating, especially today as the world gets noisier and noisier and noisier. So research shows that the brain prefers information that feels familiar and easy to process. So when someone hears a phrase that they've used or thought before, it feels right, it feels trustworthy and safe. And that emotional click builds credibility a whole lot faster. So this is why you've heard the voice of customer method is such a high converting copy strategy. When you speak in your audience's exact phrasing, which is what I teach, they preserve you as understanding them deeply. They get that feeling. They say, oh, she sees me. She knows what I'm thinking. How did she know this is what This shortens that decision-making cycle. And so also, according to more research, message was written in the customer's language significantly outperformed generic or technical messaging in both engagement and conversion. So said another way, a little easier, when your words match exactly what your audience is already thinking, their brain says, finally, someone who gets me. So the problem here and what most people miss is that one of two mistakes. We guess. We write what sounds good, what looks good on the paper, but not actually what our audience is saying or thinking. Or it's over polished. A lot of times when I work with my clients, I either say Grammarly is going to hate this. So when I send over the Google Doc, oftentimes Grammarly might not like it. And you're going to have to unlearn a lot of the English rules you learned in grade school and high school. Because as we talk, we don't always talk in perfect sentences. We need to write like we talk. And so the real raw phrases people use, you can put that into your writing. But when we button it up, looks too professional, it's exactly grammatically correct, you strip out some of that resonance. And so it's important to, when you write your content, when you're writing any of your copy, before you publish it, read it out loud. Does it sound funny to you reading it out loud? Because chances are, if it sounds funny to you when you're reading it out loud, it's going to sound funny to the person on the other side of the screen. So when you either guess or over polish, the result is beautiful content that gets likes but not leads, posts that get saved but not shared, and programs that get praised but not purchased. So, the solution, finding your client's language without a big audience, or if you just haven't been collecting. Again, you've been in business, serving clients, getting phenomenal results, but you haven't really been collecting the language that people have been using. So you don't need a massive following or hundreds of past clients. You just need access and a few proven listening strategies. So I'm going to walk you through five different ways to do this. So the first one is find the places they're already hanging out. Things like Facebook group, Reddit threads, YouTube comments, Amazon book reviews, podcast reviews, titles. Look at the different episodes. Where is your ideal client hanging out? Collect a language from there. Oftentimes in different groups like this, they're venting, asking questions, describing their struggles in their own words. And so these are really, really good places to be able to find out how they're talking. And even a small sample of this natural occurring language, the way that they're talking, 5 to 10 examples is enough to really reveal key emotional themes and patterns. And so it's really important, again, and you're looking for repeated frustrations, I just want to statements, or those emotional words like stuck, overwhelmed, exhausted, burnt out. What are the emotional words bringing? So a review, like an example of a book review for productivity might say, I'm so tired feeling like I'm busy all day and still behind. So then you could use that in your exact language. Does this sound familiar? If you feel like you're just busy all day long, yet you're still behind XYZ. That could be used as a headline, as a subject line in some of your content. Whatever it might be, you're using those exact words. So find the groups. Places are already hanging out. Then what I like to do is in-person, virtual, most of mine are virtual, interviews. So with all of my one-on-one clients that I work with, I go out and I interview their clients. This is really important part of my process because I'm able to understand what they're feeling, what they're thinking, why they first said yes, what they're struggling with. You just need a few real people who fit that ideal audience. And the interviews are 15 to 20 minutes long. And so it's super easy, really short. I'm asking things about, what were you struggling with? What were you frustrated with that made you say yes to working with them? What did you try that hadn't worked? What was the biggest difference you've seen, the biggest result you've gotten? You can use this too with people who would be perfect candidates to work with you. They just haven't said yes. And so the way that you could frame it is, hey, I'm getting this new offer together. I'd love to do a little bit market research. Would you be okay answering some questions? You're going to get a ton of gold from them. It's also likely that you might even be able to sell them into your program on that same call. And so the neuroscience of decision making shows that people are more likely to buy from brands they believe understand their emotions and context, not just their goals. This is from the Harvard Business Review. So this is so important. Write down what they say verbatim. If you can record it, that's perfect. Then you can run it through AI, get the phrases, the most important things out of the conversation. That is huge. Another way, number 3, using micro surveys to test messaging. I also do this a lot with my clients. People are busy. I understand not everybody wants to hop on a call. And some of the things that are more personal. And so they feel better writing it down. And so even 5 to 10 responses is enough to spot patterns. Again, you're asking those same questions. What's your biggest challenge? What have you tried before? What would you love help with right now? What is that dream solution? If you could have anything, if money was no object, you could do anything to solve this, what would that, right? Human brains are designed to notice recurring signals. And so in your research, you're looking for clusters of language that is the same. So far we've had borrow their words from places they're already hanging out, do 3 to 5 interviews, use micro surveys to test messaging, study testimonials, either yours, the testimonials people have shared with you, for you, or similar offers to yours. A lot of time when I am doing research for my clients' offers, I'm going onto other people's websites that do what they do, and I'm looking at what those testimonials say. Sometimes it's hard now because people like to use ChatGPT to write their testimonials for them. So that is sometimes frustrating because I can spot it from a mile away. I really want to get the raw, real words that they are using to describe their experience in working with someone. So that's why I always say surveys or interviews are best, but studying testimonials, you'll still get some gold from there because you're looking again for those patterns, how people describe their problem before they got help. What were they feeling emotionally? Were they skeptical about before? And then the last one. So I like to have, well, I will admit I'm not very great at keeping up with this, but what I do recommend for my clients is using a Google Doc and keeping some of the one-liner phrases that you often hear. If you're on a sales call with your ideal client, jot down what they're saying, the phrases you hear, the things they're saying in the calls, the words they're using to describe their problem. Just keep a note stack of your sales calls, everything people are saying. Because then after you have 5 to 10 of those, and if they are your ideal clients, you can run those again through AI to pull out the common themes. Or go through it, read through it yourself. It's always good to reread and really familiarize yourself with it so that it's actually sinking in for you too. How are they saying? Because it not only helps in your writing, but it can also help you on sales calls because you already know the objections you're going to get, right? And so pulling phrases straight from these different calls, it's the words they're actually saying. You can put it straight into your copy, opt-in pages, your emails. It gives you great social media post ideas. Those are objections, problems you can solve for them, things you can talk about. Tons of content ideas for you if you do this. And then I know I said 5, but I actually have one more that's not on my list because I just thought of it, is I often tell my clients, when you have people booking sales calls, booking clarity calls, discovery calls, whatever you might call them, have a form on it. And I like to either ask, what are you struggling with that brought you here today? What made you show up here? Different things that you're going to get their own words of where they're at and where they want to. And so just asking a few simple questions on that form before they book a call is not going to only help you show up better on your sales call, it's going to be gold for your message. Okay, so those are the 6. I know I said 5, but I'm going to go back one more time. Find the places they're already hanging out, like the Facebook groups, Reddit threads, YouTube comments, Amazon book reviews, podcasts. What are the things they're saying? Doing interviews, face-to-face, virtual, talk to them on the phone, using micro surveys, keep them short, simple, easy, but make sure you have open-ended questions because we want to hear their words. Study testimonials, either yours or offers similar to yours, and then use the Google Doc to keep track of what people are saying on sales calls. And finally, the use that form for your discovery calls so that people have to fill that out before they can book a call with you. All of these will help you gather so much gold in the ideal language, the exact language your client is using. And then you can insert that into your emails, your website copy, your opt-in pages, your social media content. All of it can be implemented and used, and I promise you will see an increase in conversions and people reaching out to you, calls being booked. It is so, so powerful. So you don't need to sound extra smart. You know everything you're doing. You just need to sound familiar. Of course, you should know what you're doing between that. You want to sound familiar. You don't need to create anything new, just mirroring the language that your client already uses and already trusts. Because people don't take action when they're just impressed by you. They take action when they feel understood, when they can connect emotionally to you. And that's the power of using language that's already working in your client's brain. So again, you don't need a huge audience to start. You just need to start listening and inserting those into your messaging and copy. And of course, if you want to build this into every part of your business and either A, you just don't have the time and you need someone to do it, my team is here for you. You can book a call with me. All of the links are in the show notes. Or you can also, I always say you are your very own best storyteller. And so my Subscribers to Sales program allows you to come in, get all of the things you need, access to my market research surveys, the interview questions, how to implement this into your copy, and then all of the AI Studio tools to do the writing for you. You get my entire system. So, of course, I hope you learned something today, took inspiration away from this, and can go start finding and using the ideal language that your audience is using. Have a wonderful day.